This is my TV. So please go to my TV Square. Go switch my account to my TV. You have to open up my phone. Okay, all right, Rabasco, welcome. Sorry for the delay. We have a little bit delay. Yeah, we have a little delay. We are so sorry for that.
Thank you, thank you. It's of no problem once it is for our people.
We are so sorry for the delay. Welcome, welcome again. Are you getting me?
Yes, I'm getting you very
Okay,
clear.
so
Thank you.
okay, we're waiting for Fido to join the show. Let her do.
Has it been settled now for the
Yes,
show to go
it's
live?
settled now. It's settled. It's settled. Everything is settled now. Technical director is sharing it. So everything is
Okay.
settled now.
Technical,
Sorry for the little delay. Okay, we feel
technical
it's here already. Let me bring her live. Okay. So we are so sorry,
can
Ruby
the
and whatever Basco. Yeah.
can can the can the technical director share with me the link?
Yeah, he's doing it now. He's trying to share with everyone. So it's also in the group chat, right? Please go to the group chat now. It's in the group chat. It's all over the group chat now. So we want to say welcome to the Master of Vision. We say sorry for the break-in. We faced a lot of technical problems, but we are back today for this wonderful show. It's like our people was fighting us, but we have to fight them back. So Rufino, welcome to the show. How are you doing again?
Thank you. I am doing very well. Thank you. And how are you?
I'm doing great, Rufino. It's a pleasure having you on the show tonight.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Okay, thank you. Mr.
Naya,
Rabasco, we want to say welcome. Yeah.
Naya, I think I need to join your technical team. The link is not playing. The link is not playing. I need to join your technical. You need to pay me. You need to pay some money to the farmer to join your technical
It's good.
team.
It's going, Mr. Rabasco. You gotta check your phone because everyone is watching it now. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people is watching the link now.
Oh, someone just posted in the chat room that the video is not playing.
It's playing. It's playing. People is watching it, so I don't know why. Why? So they need to check their phone. It's
It's
playing.
not.
Just click on it, right?
It's not. It's not even playing at my end. It's not playing at
Are you
my
sure?
end, and someone just confirmed it. Someone just confirmed it. One of the students in the chat room just confirmed it that the link, the video is not playing, and it's not even playing at my end.
And I have
You know,
I
I
have
had
about
my
three
phone there,
persons here.
right?
Yeah. And I have about people who is watching the video now. So how is it? I have a Costa who is also watching. I have a lot of people who is watching the video now. So why is it? You have to check, yeah? You have to check,
But
please.
whatever the case, we can go ahead. My little problem was since the show is intended for is intended to provide education to our people. I thought it was
Okay.
necessary that your background is very bad. Someone background is bad.
You see, I think your background, right? You have to work on your background. Is that
I am
okay?
get I'm getting I'm getting a bad feedback.
Can you go ahead? I don't think it's mine. Hello, Mr. Rufino, are you hearing me? Are you hearing me, Rufino?
Me, I can hear you.
Okay. Brother Basco, you have to remove the earpiece. I think your earpiece, can you remove it? Let's see.
Uh,
Okay, Rufino, let's, while he's working on himself, can we ask you some questions, Rufino? Okay, like we were saying first, so now there's a new broadcast, so let's go into it. So, Rufino, can you tell us, how you stay in India? How you been in growing India? How is India with you now? We are in the winter time. How is India with you? Can you tell us something?
So I've been in India for over a year now, and I've already experienced winter last year. This is my second winter, which is I'm already used to it now, so it's not a big deal. My stay in India has been fine. I also, I've settled, I've gotten used to the environment, I'm no longer complaining as much.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. So, can we get Brother Basco? Can you tell us a little bit about your stay in India for the past time? Can you tell?
so again, I'm Abasco Tubachia, uh, a practical farmer and an emerging agronomist. My stay in India is very good. Besides the weather, because uh, I came from a tropical region where uh, the temperature is at a moderate level. But it's quite unfortunate that here, if it is summer, you experience heat stroke. If it is winter, you are like freezing, right? But it's good. It's cool. It's cool. We just have to. These are the experiences people gather when they have led when they leave their comfort zone. So it's cool. It's very cool for me.
All
Thank you.
right. So our follower who are watching, we said vision. We are here.
Prof. Joyce, I think Myers is having issue, and Mobisize. The show is not going live. It's not playing the video. I don't know how they are sharing. They stop the sharing. It's not playing. Are you getting me?
Yeah, yeah. I hope you're also getting it right. So we say welcome to the show. Rufino, are you on the show? We are not getting Rufino. Are you on the show, Rufino? Please unmute the mic. You have been muted. Please unmute the mic. So, like we said, we are here to promote education, and tonight we are opportune to have students from the agriculture department of the Ottawa University who are here tonight to tell us on the importance of agriculture to Africans and the benefit that we also get, right? So we will firstly have to take an introduction from Ms. Rufido, who is also on the line. Ms. Rufido, can we hear something from you on this topic? We are not getting you. Babasco,
Yes.
can you hear Rufilo?
No, no, I'm not. I'm
Rufilo,
I'm
we are
not
not
getting.
hearing you. No, no, no. Hello? We
Can
are
you hear
not
me now?
hearing you. I don't know why. Okay, okay, we are hearing you now. Okay, so we are getting you now.
Okay. Okay, so I just want to start off by saying that I am a second year BSc honors agriculture student and I am in my third semester. And I've been doing agriculture now for a total of 1 year and a few months. And in these months that I have been doing agriculture, I've learned quite a lot, in realizing that agriculture isn't just a poor farming activity that people do. When people think about agriculture, they think about it as an activity that only people that live in rural areas do to live by. And that isn't necessarily true because there's so much that goes into the agriculture sector whereby you're learning about the conditions of soil, plant breeding, how to produce food, how to grow plants, and it's a whole spectrum of a subject and a topic. And one thing about agriculture, especially in Africa, is that it is the single most economic activity of the entire continent. Therefore, it's over 60% of the continent relies on agriculture for their livelihood. Did you guys hear
Are you
everything
the?
I said?
Yeah, yes, yes. We are getting you. We are getting you.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So thank you for that introduction, Rufilo. We say thank you so much for that brilliant introduction on the topics, the importance of agriculture and its benefit to Africans. We say thank you for highlighting us on it. So let's we want to listen to you, Mr. Rabasco. Can we hear from you, sir?
It's, I'm Rabasco Tubachia, an emerging agronomist and a research scholar in the making. Uh, I got my bachelor's from Maryland, William V.S. Stedman University, in agronomy, and today I'm here in India doing my master's uh, in the same field, agronomy. Uh, and I'm in my final year. I have completed one, and currently I'm doing my research work um, for my post graduation. Today, Mr. Myers, it's a pleasure to be on your show. I will not boast our uh, our followers and listeners uh, with too much um, biography, but actually I have been in the field of agriculture, working both in the field and 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 with farmers for like 7 years plus now before leaving Liberia. And today, today is very exciting because we would like to share the importance of the importance of agriculture and its benefit to Africans. We will also be providing scientific data that back the importance of agriculture and the reason why uh, uh, Africa need to see agriculture as the fourth most opportunity for economic growth and development. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Rabasco, for that brilliant introduction. We are so happy again to have you here. So, if you are watching the show this evening, we have two guests with us. Our guests will have been three, but we are still fighting to get the last person to come on. We are still facing the challenges, but we hope that everything be settled pretty soon. So, what we want you to do now, we want you to share this live. We want you to share, and then everyone to ask any question. You can tell your question. through this number plus 231-881-302364. So we will get your question and then we to see how to bring you on live to ask our guests your question. So, Ms. Rufido, can we get back to you for your presentation tonight on the importance of agriculture and its benefit to Africans? We are listening to you, Ms. Rufido, our guest tonight, a student from the agriculture department. We want to hear from you tonight.
Yes, Myers. Could you please give me 5 minutes? I have something that I need to sort out really quickly.
Okay, so while we are waiting on Ms. Rufido, can we hear from you, Mr. Rabasco? Can we hear from you also? And our guest is also working on something. We also want to hear from you, sir.
Yeah, so Myers, indeed, it's a great pleasure to provide insight about agriculture in Africa as an opportunity. Uh, FAO, the World Food and Agriculture Organization, in 2023 reported that about 60%.
Hi.
Background is being noted.
Okay, we are getting.
About 60% of the Africa's population totally depend on agriculture for survival, their livelihood, and the world as a whole depends on agriculture for food production, not just for food production, but as a source of raw material, right? In the tertiary industry or in other industries. So, uh, what is the reason? What is the reason Africa need to see agriculture as the fourth most opportunity for growth and development? Firstly, I will start with the benefit, right? So
Okay.
agriculture guarantees food security and nutrition. In 2020, World Bank reported that agriculture productivity once increased, malnutrition will decrease by 20%. And
Okay.
security became a food security became a major challenge for the world, not just Africa alone, right? Despite
Yeah,
the
yes.
potential of despite the potential of agriculture being the backbone, um, um, Africa faces serious challenges with malnutrition. FAO reported in 2021 that over 220 million Africans still experiencing food security, right? So investment in agriculture to combat the issue of food security and malnutrition, investment in agriculture is very important. I will give you an example in Malawi. Malawi's staple food is maize. Malawi consume maize as their staple food in different forms. In 2006, the Malawian government introduced uh, the FISP program. The FISP program is the Farm Input Subsidy Program. When that program was introduced, it can be recalled that Malawi maize production yield was double, reducing the insecurities significantly and ensuring that majority of the rural population have access to food. Right. So investment in agriculture or see agriculture as an opportunity in Africa will help to reduce food insecurity and guarantee us being a food secure continent. Another thing that agriculture do for Africa, not just Africa, but the world, is economic growth and employment. Agriculture contribute about 70% to the employment force of Africa. And in Ethiopia, agriculture contributes about 35% to the GDP. In Liberia, where I came from, my home country, agriculture also contributes about 35% to the GDP and employ about 70% of the population. It will interest you to know that Africa is the world's largest cocoa producer, supplying over 40% of the global cocoa, right? So in Africa, the cocoa industry employ about 5 million people of the total population of Africa, contributing significantly to unemployment. So that is to tell you that agriculture as an industry or as an investment is not just about farming, but it helps to reduce unemployment rate. Climate resilience and environmental protection. You know, agriculture is essential in addressing climate change. Today, Africa is unduly affected by the effect of climate change, right? So practices like agroforestry, conservation of farming, and irrigation are crucial for resilient Earth to combat the effect of climate change. I will also give you a scientific data that in Kenya, when Kenya used the Sustainable Land Management Project, for yield, for agricultural production yield increased by 150%, right? In the semi-arid region. So that is to tell you that agriculture is not only about farming, though agriculturalists and farmers contribute to climate change, but in climate change, agriculture or agriculturalists have a great role to play. Africa embracing agriculture will help to reduce urban migration. It's very important to have a significant investment in agriculture to reduce rural poverty and limit urban migration by providing employment opportunity in rural areas. Right? In Nigeria, to give a statistical analysis about the benefit the benefit of agriculture in Nigeria. When Nigeria launched the Answered Borrowed program, right? It was reported by World Bank that there was a 30% increment in local production, thereby limiting urban migration and creating more jobs for the rural community. Agriculture is very important and significant, and Africa needs to see agriculture as the opportunity, as the source, the backbone for rural development and economic growth. Are we making any progress? Is Africa making any progress? Yes, Africa is making progress. I will reference Nigeria. Nigeria is the world's largest cassava producer, right? In West Africa, Nigeria is the food hero. Research has shown that Nigeria is the food leader of Africa. Nigeria is the fourth largest producer of cocoa after Ghana and Indonesia. So we have made significant progress in agriculture, and our potential is shown in agriculture, right? So it's very important that Africa see agriculture as the stepping stone to development. as a stepping stone to economic, as a stepping stone to alleviating poverty, as a stepping stone to having a full secure continent. Do we have challenges? Yes, there are many challenges facing the sector. And these challenges are not only limited to Africa alone. The whole world now is experiencing climate change, right?
Yeah.
Rain, rain, rainfall pattern is uncertain. Drought and flood is disrupting farming activities in the sub-Sahara, in the sub, in the sub-Sahara Africa. To give us scientific data, about 68 million annually is being lost, according to World Bank, from agricultural productivity due to the impact of climate change, right? Only 4% in terms of technology, in, in terms of technology and infrastructure, I can boldly say that Africa is lagging behind. Africa has about 4% of the arable land in Africa that is irrigated, and irrigation farming nowadays is the best farming practices due to hybrid plants being cultivated. But it will interest you to know that in Africa we have only 4% of the total agricultural production area under irrigation, right? So we have limited access to to modern technology. We have limited access to machineries. We have limited access to storage. We have limited access to market. These things hinder the productivity and progress of agriculture. There are many challenges, but Af- Af- African farmers still have poor access to finance, no loans, no grants, right? Farmers lack access to credit in purchasing inputs and adapting modern technology. The, the African Development Bank reported in 2020 that only 3% of the total bank lending goes to agriculture in Africa. Only 3%. So imagine if you were to sit for an exam where uh, you have to score 100, and the and the instructor is grading you 3% out of 100. That is how constrained African farmers are. That is how constrained Africa is. No access to loan, no access to finance. Ma- Access to market also become a barrier. Government policy also become an issue, right? Providing subsidies to farmers also become issue. But these things are the various factors that interplay to boost agricultural productivity and to make farmers have optimum yield. Unfortunately, African farmers do not have access to quality research material. Do you expect them to make progress? Do do you expect do you expect Africa with a virgin land, a welcoming climate, to make progress in agricultural production? It's difficult. It's difficult. It's difficult. But are they prospect? Yes, they are prospect. What needs to be done? They are prospect in the sector, right? There's a need that subsidies and incentives are provided to farmers, to African farmers, right?
Mhm.
What if Western government that you see today that is making significant progress in agriculture, there are good government policies that provide incentives to farmers. There are good government policies that provide subsidies to farmers. These things help to boost the productivity. Research and innovation in, agri- in, in agriculture, our farmers need to start gravitating to research and innovation, integrating technology into agriculture is very important. Is very, very important. So, Myers, to uh, to conclude in my time, it's very important that Africa, in transforming her social economic status, they prioritize agriculture as the stepping stone. It has benefit to provide us food security, to ensure economic growth, to reduce unemployment, to combat uh, uh, the issue of climate change, and leveraging scientific advancement, government policies, and international partnership will help to unlock Africa's potential in ensuring that we have a prosperous future, we have a prosperous Africa through agriculture. Thank you.
We want to say a very big thank you to you, Mr. Rabasco, for that brilliant presentation tonight on the importance of agriculture to Africa and its benefit to African. We say thank you so much. So, listener, wherever you are, we need those necessary questions from you to ask Mr. Rabasco those questions that we can try to find a solutions that our agricultural sectors in Africa can boost, that we can make a mark on the world market. So let us join Ms. Rufino for her presentation tonight. Ms. Rufino, welcome and then thank you. We listen to you tonight.
Thank you. So listening to Mr. Rabasco, he has covered most of the important benefits or the importance of agriculture in the Africa continent. So there's not really much that I will say without repeating his words, as he has covered most of the points. But what I will say is when it comes to agriculture, people immediately think, oh, working on a farm, hard labor. And that is not what agriculture is about. Agriculture is essentially divided into two parts, which we have agribusiness and production agriculture. Now, production agriculture is the agriculture, it is work that is done on the farm. So, you're farming, ranch, go growing animals, raising animals, and then we have agribusiness, which is work that is not done on the farm. And it's now people that work in the office to manage farms, the selling of agricultural products and all of that. And so when people go into agriculture, they have a choice on which side of agriculture they want to fall under. Now, as Mr. Rabasco has said, agriculture is single-handedly the most important sector in the African continent. It employs about 60 to 75% of people, and a lot of people depend on agriculture for their livelihood. You will find that small farmers consume 80% of what they grow. And so that is one of the importance of agriculture, like food security. When you know how to farm, when you know how to raise crops and you know the science and art of agriculture, you're able to provide food that is healthy and that is edible for people. right? And another thing about Africa as well is that it produces all the principal grains, which is wheat, rice, and corn. Meaning, with these grains that are being produced in Africa, and they are a staple food in many countries as well. The countries that provide these grains can have the opportunity to turn these into an export business, where they sell these grains to other countries and they get money in return, and that is essentially raises the country's GDP. And that is what we strain for: economic improvement, economic balance. And agriculture also is, it has a high employment rate. It employs a lot of people that you will find are on the more illiterate side, side of life, and they didn't really go through school. They have an opportunity to work in agriculture, whether as farmers, as herders, or anything, but it is the biggest source of employment, which provides jobs for a lot of people. And I think I mentioned the food security. And Myers, the chair you're sitting on, the table you're leaning against, you wouldn't have those without agriculture, because agriculture allows for raw materials to be produced, the cutting down of trees, timber, whatnot. Agriculture allows it for us to even have shelter, to have beds, to have chairs, and all these furniture that we wouldn't be having necessarily without agriculture. So raw materials is another thing, and I think somehow, somehow with agriculture, I could say that in regards to Africa, certain continents, poverty reduction is there when people have the opportunity to go work into this sector and, to earn a livelihood for themselves. Yeah, as the main importance of agriculture in Africa is food. Not for agriculture, we wouldn't be having food. That's my presentation.
Thank you so much, Ms. Rufilo, for that brilliant presentation. So far, we have heard from our guest tonight.
Excellent.
Yeah, we are here from our guest tonight on those brilliant presentation. Yeah. So as we wait on our follower, as we get those questions from them, there are a few things I want to know that I heard from you people that I want to know, right? I want you guys to tell me tonight, right? So from an experience, our students in India, what are some of those measures we Africans need to put in place to boost our agricultural sectors? Did you hear my question?
So Rufino, you go first, right? Or you want me
Lufido,
to go first?
so before you go further, Lufido, if you want to ask a question, so you can just message us on our WhatsApp number, or you can just write it right under the light, and we will see your question there to give to our guest tonight, right? So our WhatsApp number is +231 881 3023 64. So just a minute, we are going to give you another WhatsApp number that you can also channel your question to. Just a minute, please. So Rufido, we get to you. Why you are on your explanation, please?
Mr. Myers, before Rufino can come in, let me say again that this show is not live on your page.
It's live. Please check.
Rufino,
It's live.
go ahead.
It's live on my page, Brother Basco. Yeah, Rufido, we listen to you.
I even forgot the question now.
So here's the
If you
question,
look on
Rufido,
your
tonight,
page, you
right?
will see. If you look, hold on. If you look on your page, if you tell your technician to log on it, they will see that this content is not available.
Okay. So
Let
let
them
me show to
confirm.
you, Brother
You
Basco.
can go ahead.
So let me show to you, Brother Basco. We are present live. You see, we are present live. There are people who are watching this live tonight. We are present live, Brother Basco.
Okay, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead.
So Rufido, we listen to you tonight.
Can you please repeat the question?
Okay, so there's a question for you, Rufido. There's a question for you tonight that we want to know, right? So the question is, from your experience as student in India, what are some of those measures we African need to put in place in order to boost our agriculture sectors?
Okay. So, from going to my practical classes, what I have noticed about doing some of the practicals is that soil health is very big in agriculture, checking the fertility of the soil, the health of the soil. And I think that's one thing that isn't necessarily done in the African side of agriculture. So one of the measures that can be put is increasing the soil health so as to make it more quality, increase organic matter levels, and that would ultimately result in a higher yield of crops. And another measure that can be put is using high quality seeds, meaning you use seeds that are going to be able to withstand adverse conditions of the weather, withstand high temperatures, high rain levels, and that's one of the many things that can be used. And another thing is staying up to date. One measure is looking at what other countries are doing and what is working for them. And so with that, you can try, and I'm not saying stealing their ideas, but you can try and implement what works better for other countries into what us as Africans are already not doing. So if I see that, China is doing this and they're succeeding, I could be like, okay, let me try and do what China is doing as well so that I can succeed in my farming or agriculture sector as an African.
Thank you so much for that brilliant answer, Ms. Rufido. Can we hear from you, Mr. Rabasco? Cheer.
Uh, so, Joyce, thanks for eloquently explaining what needs to be done, especially from your practical experience. That's nice, kudos. But I think it's very important over the time, over my stay here in India, and per my experience and being a farmer. One I need adapting is proper policy for sustainable agriculture, proper regulation, and policy that promote. Here in India here they have policies that promote agriculture. In fact, there's a policy in India that provides subsidies to land holding owners. If you are a farmer that has a land, you receive money for it. You are the one making the farm, but government provide funding for you to promote your production. So it's important that Africa start developing a holistic policy implemented to the fullest that will promote agricultural productivity, not just promote agricultural productivity, but embrace sustainable agriculture, right? The next thing Africa needs to do is to provide subsidies and incentives. Like I said, in India, if you are a farmer, the law make you to be entitled to subsidy. So your return determine the amount you receive. That's a right. It creates competition among farmers. I want to be the high producer of let's say of Zia maize, which is corn, that corn, right? I want to be the higher producer of cassava, right? So there will be competition among farmers once these policies are introduced and implemented. So it's very important. Another thing Africa needs to adapt is, look, like I always say, Africa, the fact that we significant in agriculture, we have not the green revolution to the fullest. We need to adapt modern farming techniques. We need to adapt seasonal. We need to adapt regenerative agriculture. We need to start new sensors, drone technology in agriculture. Technology needs to be integrated into agriculture. It is the strength. It is, and it promotes productivity. Africa needs to adapt technology into agriculture. That's the second thing that Africa, and I have said in India, that we need to start practicing. Farmers need to have access. Farmers need to have access. I have an idea. I have capacity. I have the knowledge, but I don't have access to money. The farmers loan in African countries to be farmers that Africa should have an agricultural bank that farmers can access loan for and expand their production. Rufino George have also talked about the fee aspect, like boosting the soil fertility, planting high yielding variety, climate resistant crop. Yes, these things are very important. These things are very important and essential for high productivity. You cannot, in our current dispensation, you cannot planting yielding variety or climate resistant crops and expect Dr. Saminaka of the Green Revolution in India once said, if agriculture goes wrong, everything on earth will go wrong. That is to tell you how important agriculture is. That is to tell you that the survival of man, because you cannot live without food. Your health depends on food, right? So we need Africa to need to adapt research and innovation. These things are very important. Let me just make an addition to what my sister Joyce said that we need to embrace uh, uh, con- continental fair or agriculture fair sharing. If China is making progress, you learn on China experience. If India is making progress, you learn on India experience. But fair trade, and fair pricing should be adapted, should be instituted. That farmers will have pricing on the market. Most, most of our farmers do not have fair price to their produce. So at the end of the day, even the farmers themselves are feeling reluctant to continue making production. And again, this is very important. We grew up, we grew up, we grew up in an environment where people see agriculture as the old man profession, or they see every agriculturist as a farmer. If you are an agriculturist, they see you as a bush person. When I
Yeah, yeah.
when I moved when I moved when I moved to Maryland and completed my bachelor degree in agriculture and returned back home, you know, I started practical lesson. What I learned, I am a living I am a living testimony, right? And people were like, ah, so you went in a city or you went to university to learn the same bush thing that you were doing here. So we need to make agriculture sexy. We need to make agriculture very sexy. It's very interesting that today we are having young people in the sector, in the industry that which I must admit, the presence of the youth in the industry is shifting the perspective of the food production sector in our continent. So there's a need that uh, we begin motivating ourselves. Africa need to motivate herself. Africa need to motivate and empower herself. Thank you, Rufus.
That was a brilliant answer from Brother Rabasco. We say thank you so much. So there are a lot of questions we have coming in our inbox tonight, and we hope to get more things. You know, Brother Rabasco, you brought something to my mind that most people think that once you are doing agriculture, meaning you have to go and play with the dike every time you are a dirty person. There are a lot of things to say about that, but at least tonight we are learning a lot of things about the importance of agriculture, because we Africans today, we don't value agriculture. We don't really value agriculture. Most of us today, we feel that we just want to do everything on an easier surface, right? But at least tonight we are happy to have you guys here and disclosing these things to us that we need to know. So we have another question for you again tonight. So let me get our question quick, and then we want to ask you this question, please. So we have people who is following. We had the first question from just a minute. Uh, please give us just a minute, please. Just a minute, please. So Rufino, can you? We are looking for the question, right? So Rufino, you being from South Africa, can you tell us some of these agricultural activities that farmers or some of the agricultural challenges that farmers really face back in South Africa? There, can you tell us some of these challenges that farmers really face back there?
Um, I recently found out that South Africa is having a food shortage, especially when it comes to potatoes, right? There's a shortage of potatoes right now in the agriculture industry. and you come to find out that that is because of climate change.
Okay.
Some of the problems that farmers are facing, due to the climate constantly changing, the weather, it's hot today, it's freezing tomorrow. Our crop varieties cannot withstand that. And so with the varieties that we have and with the ever so changing weather, it is a problem for South African farmers to be able to yield proper crops and quality crops as well.
Okay, that's good. So, Brother Basco, the same question go to you. Can you please tell us some of the challenges that local farmers face or back home nowadays? You
So,
being on the field for a very long time.
yeah, so I came from a country of about like 5.2 million, 5.2 million people estimately, and 70% of the population there are farmers. 70% of the population are farmers. But it will interest you to know that World Bank report in 2023 indicated that despite Liberian population is dominated by food producers, the country still face significant food insecurity. And the people are experiencing abject poverty. So that is being motivating, right? How 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 can a country population be dominated by food producers and they barely feed themselves? It's discouraging. So our farmers still face major challenges. One one has to do with government government policies and support to farmers. It will interest you to know that an 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 industry that is the backbone of the country economy that contributes about 35% to the country GDP budget. The national budget is like, oh, I'm having a bad feedback. The national the national the national agriculture budget is a package for an individual. Do you expect farmers to make progress? Our our Liberian farmers have limited access to modern technology. They have limit. My else, I'm having a bad feedback.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm.
Hello? Are you hearing me?
Because are you there?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't. Sorry. You can go ahead. Sorry for that. Wasn't getting you.
Access to technology. Our farmers lack access to market. Our farmers lack access to infrastructure. And these things are very important and need improvement. That is the only way Africa will experience or Liberia will experience her full potential in the agricultural industry. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So because of time, we want to run strictly to our question from online. So the first question we have here for you, Brother Basco. So the first question has to do with this, right? The person we want to know, right, from you, Brother Basco, we want to know tonight, what are some of those steps that we need to take to ensure stability farming practices back home or in Africa
Can
at
you
large.
can you come back again? Can you please repeat your question again?
So Merciless is asking a question. She want to know this, right? Her question has to do with what are some of those steps that we need to take to ensure stability of farming practices.
Okay, so it's very simple, and the recommendation is not only limited to Liberia alone. Africa as a whole, the first thing that we need to do is to build farmers' capacity. Farmers' capacity need to be built. When the man is knowledgeable about what they are doing, if the man knows the important, I'm saying man, uh, men here representing the both genders, right?
Sure.
If the
Yeah, yeah.
man, yes, if I don't want Joyce to come for me. So when a man, when a man is giving knowledge, when a man is giving knowledge, when they know the importance of what they are doing, they will prioritize exactly what they are doing. So the first thing, our farmers do not have the capacity, technical capacity. So Africa need to start uh, providing institutional support, trainings, workshop, building the capacities of farmers. Most of our farmers are in a rural area, and and estimately about 35% of our rural farmers do not know how to read and write. Someone who do not
Mhm.
know how to read, someone who do not know how to read and write in this teaching climate, if there is no extension services afforded to them, do you expect them to make progress in their production? No. So farmers' capacity need to be built, right? The next thing, when the capacity is built, is to the next thing is to establish infrastructure and storage facilities for farmers. Because I am living Grand Crew, my market is in Bon County. My food or my produce cannot get to Bon the same day. I want to do an export from Liberia to South Africa. The judge was saying they are having shortage of potato, and Liberia has a very good land for sweet potato production. So I want to venture sweet potato production, right? I need storage facility. I need storage facility after every bonbon harvest, because my surplus harvest after feeding my family, we have to go on the market, but it cannot reach the market the same day. So storage facility is very important, and our farmers, African farmers, lack access to storage facility, and it's very important that storage facility is established. The next thing that we need to do is to create market linkages, and bring potential farmers, link them to market. Yes, there are good farmers all over Africa, but are they getting fair pricing of their product? I can boldly tell you no. Do the research. Many African farmers are not getting fair pricing for their product. In India here, if they say a kilo, a kilo of okra is 250 rupees in Dehradun. If you go Delhi, it's the same 250 rupees. Is that happening in Liberia? No. Is that happening all over Africa? No. African farmers are not getting fair pricing for their product. So get create a market linkage for them, and after creating market linkage for them, ensure that farmers have fair pricing. They may want to have benefit of their labor as well. Then I continue saying this because Africa will not make progress if there is no subsidy provided to farmers. So it's important that subsidies are provided to farmers. There should be policies that will promote agricultural production in all African countries. Is that happening? No. Africa is dominated by politics. There should be a political will Government should be willing to make investment in agriculture. Government should be willing to make investment in our farmers. That is the
Okay.
only way. That is the only way we can unlock our potential and make significant progress in the food sector and and make Africa a food secure continent. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Rabasco. So now, because of time, we want to take at least few minutes to wrap up. So let's just at least we go around three questions quickly, then we can try to wrap up quick. So, Ms. Rufino, this question is for you. Please tell us something. This question is for you, right? So the question has to do with this, right? It says, "What are the main challenges facing food security in Africa, and how can agriculture help address these challenges?" Can you please tell?
Can you please repeat the question?
Okay, Brother James is asking this question, right? Brother James is asking this question. What are the main challenges facing food security in Africa, and how can agriculture help address these challenges?
Okay, I just need to write it down.
Okay.
Okay. So to answer that question, you will find that most farmers or farmers now got into this agriculture business without knowing the science behind agriculture. You will find that they just, they know how to do the basics, but they don't know how to do the hard labor behind the basics. And so this will lead to a point where they don't know how to produce some of the things because of lack of knowledge, right? And with this is where agriculture comes in. Like I said, agriculture covers a variety, a broad spectrum of subjects. We have soil science, we have plant breeding and genetics, we have horticulture, agronomy, just to name a few. And so when somebody studies agriculture, and when it comes to now trying to figure out the food security, they will take into account the science behind agriculture and not just the practices of agriculture. And so that's how I think agriculture could help in regulating food shortages in Africa.
Thank you so much, Fido, for that brilliant answer. We appreciate that so much. So, before we take your parking statement or your parking comments, we want to ask this last question. We have a lot of questions here, but I believe that because of time's sake, we appeal to our audience. We cannot answer all these questions tonight. We hope to have these people back another time. We will have them back so your question can be there. We face a lot of technical issues tonight, but we praise be to God that we have solved those problems. So we want to ask this question to the both of you people right tonight, right? So before we go, we say, how can a private sector investment be leveraged to support agricultural development in agriculture? Did our question was read? Did you got our question?
Yes, yes. Private sector
Okay.
investment into agriculture, right?
Yes, that's question from Brother James Nananglo. He's asking this question: how can the private sector investment be leveraged to support the agricultural development in Africa? Ms. Rufido, did you also got the question?
Yeah, I understand the question, but Mr. Rabasco was about to answer.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, we want. Yeah.
So,
So we will take Brother Basco, we will take you for this question, and from there we will take one question for Ms. Rufido before we get a parking statement. I think that's going to be okay.
okay, so private sector investments are so proprietorship and uh, they have to partner with government to do investment in a particular area. And private sector investment become very important in agriculture because they are building a whole industry, right? Like in Liberia, we have the Golden Pavilion oil palm plantation. We have the Saint Darby. We have the MOPP. We have the Firestone. These are private entities that do investment in agriculture. But this this is the problem. This is where government need to be fair to her people and establish regulations that allow the production is made in most of the African countries, but the processing is done in out of Africa or out of the country that is producing that particular product, right? So private sectors need to leverage their investment, and production is done. It provides employment for farmers. Yes. When you want to add value to the product, let you know the value chain is a long line, and the farmers play a very long, a very important and crucial role on the chain. You cannot avoid you in the agriculture industry. You cannot avoid the farmers in that chain. So those sectors, those private sectors have to build infrastructure, have to build farmers' capacity. When they build infrastructures for agricultural productivity, it will boost the production, not only for the private institutions, but for the farmers. Like for example, if Liberia is accepting a palm company, like here is in Liberia now, right? So
Mhm.
so the company do her production, harvest her produce and do whatever with it, right? Now the company will develop a outdoor program, meaning where the production is taking place, farmers will have the opportunity to grow the seed, to cultivate the seed crops that uh, that the that the private institution is cultivating. At the end of the day, there can be a mutual understanding of empowering the farmer. Since I'm here, I have the resources, I have the capacity. I will do the investment. I will do the investment in the farmers, and the produce will be sold to me. That's how that's how production can be expanded, and farmers' capacity can be built, their productivity can be increased once private sector leverage their agriculture initiatives. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Rabasco, again. Thank you so much. So this question, we are going to give a script to the female because this is also from a female. So we want to give this to you, Miss Rufito. So there's a question for you, Miss Rufito, right? So the question says, what advice will you give to someone interested in starting farming career
In starting,
or farming career?
oh, what advice? Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
well, the first thing is research.
Thank you.
If you're
Thank
thinking
you,
of
Rufino.
starting a farming idea, you have to do research. Find out all there is to know about farming, all the advantages, disadvantages, risks, weaknesses, strengths. You do all the research, and once you have all the information, you then move on to make sure you have enough capital to start this farm business. Because without money capital, you won't really get anywhere. But I think those are my top two advice: research and capital.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you so much. So tonight, if you just joining us, we say there's a Miles Television show, and we are here on every Friday and Sunday to bring you a live coverage. And tonight we have students from the agriculture department that are here to explain to us tonight, and they have been answering a lot of our questions. They have done a lot for us tonight. So if you just join us, we want you to please like, share our show tonight. So before we leave you guys tonight, we would like to take a parking statement from you guys tonight. So we want to begin with Basco. Can we get a parking statement from you tonight on this show?
So again, Rufus, thank you for having me on this show, and it's my pleasure to be here, and I would love to be here again. Uh, Also, thanks to those that have followed the process and that are listening to this broadcast, and thanks to Josh, my dear sister, and Gion, Okoli. It was nice being with you here, but it's very important for Africa to understand that uh, the way to a sustainable development and economic growth is investment in agriculture. A country cannot survive the high crisis. A country cannot survive in the face of hunger. A country cannot make progress in the face of hunger. Citizens cannot make better decisions in the face of hunger. Government cannot make improve sustainable development for the growth of the country in the face of hunger. The man will be hungry, he will not go to work. So it's important to give preference to where your eating can come from. The
Sure.
let me say it the elaborate way. It's important to prioritize your eating bowl. If you want the man to perform well, the man need to eat well. How how do we feel ourselves when we see farmers as bush people, when we see agriculturists as bush people, when we are not making investment in agriculture, when we are not leveraging our policy to promote food production, to to start shifting our economy to a more prosperous one, we need to prioritize agricultural investment. Agricultural investment will serve as a stepping stone. And it's the responsibility of everyone, not only government, farmers, citizens, government, private investors, all need to collaborate and take full responsibility and promote the sector. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your parking statement, Brother Rabasco. We appreciate you so much, Mr. Chief, for your appearance on this show tonight. It is the next time having you tonight, and we hope to have you guys in the month of December again. One of these Friday, we will be bringing you guys back here to learn more and more from you guys
Rufus,
pertaining agriculture.
Rufus, you need to go for break. This December will be very cold, and I won't be able to come out of my blanket. Or that will be an audio. I stay under my blanket. You got to go.
Okay, so we get to our female guest here tonight for her parking statement on this wonderful topic. Miss Rufida, let the audience is waiting to hear from you tonight.
First of all, thank you for giving us the platform to share what we have learned and what we are studying. It's very educating to hear Mr. Rabasco talk about his experiences and his thoughts, and just to get a pick of what he thinks about this agriculture. So, thank you again for this platform, Myers. What I have to say is, I'm just going to keep it sweet and short. And I will just say that if there is anyone that is thinking of taking agriculture as a subject or as a course in university, do it. You know, it is really just not being a farmer. You're not studying to be a farmer, but you're studying to be more than a farmer. You're studying to be a agriculturist who knows the art and science behind farming. And initially, you contribute a lot more to the world than you think. You know, you play a huge role in the economy by just knowing and being in the agriculture sector. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Rufilo. It was a pleasure having you on this platform, and we hope to have you in the month of December. We know it's going to be a very cold time, but we hope to have you back on this platform as we deeper into the agriculture sector. So wherever you are watching from, we say this is a Miles Television. This is our first official show, and tonight we are privileged to have our guest from the agriculture department. And we want to show you that next week Friday we are going to be having students from the medical department. They are going to come here to tell us some things that we need to hear in order to have a healthy life. So we say thank you so much, Brother Basco. We will always love to have you on the show. And Ms. Rufido, we say thank you so much for honoring our invitation. It was a nice time having you here, and we are so sorry to our audience and also our guests for some break in of the time that we have to spend here. So we say sorry for that. We promise that that is not going to be repeated. Our technical team is going to work on it. We want to appreciate our technical team, Mr. Justin Gibson. We say thank you for the technical work done so far. We hope that you improve more and more on this work. May God bless every one of you. Thank you so much for the time, and God bless you, Peter. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.